Hi, my name is Christina Berry, and I'm an agency development manager on the Google agency team based in Mountain View headquarters. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming back Lou Brannon, Senior Paid Media Manager at CPC Strategy, one of our valued agency partners based in San Diego. CPC Strategy is a premier Google partner working primarily with e-commerce brands and retailers across the US. Thank you so much for joining us today to learn more about attribution modeling for retail brands. Lou, tell us more about yourself and your team's approach to attribution.
Definitely. Well, first of all, thank you, Christina, for hosting me back here in the Googleplex in Mountain View. It's always great to be back. A little bit about myself. My name is Lou Brannon, and I am a Senior Paid Media Manager at CPC Strategy. We are a retail-focused e-commerce advertising agency based in San Diego. And today we are going to be talking about attribution, as Christina mentioned. And the topic of attribution is one that's a little bit scary for people to hear for the first time. And I think it gives people all this kind of complicated, people have a complicated perception of attribution because it does seem like quite a complicated topic. But today we're going to break it down a little bit, explain what really it means to understand the customer buying journey and the path to purchase, and talk about some simple and effective ways that advertisers can implement some attribution strategy that can really help drive forward their performance.
Exactly. So as Lou mentioned, the customer journey and path to purchase is very complicated and continues to get extremely complex. For online retail brands, the average shopper engages with 5+ digital touchpoints before purchasing. And along that process, they can engage with all sorts of different advertisements across the web. A critical fact to remember is that now 75% of online adults start a search on one device, but actually continue or finish it on another. This is a really important piece of the puzzle to keep in mind.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting statistic, kind of eye-popping. And as someone who works in AdWords every single day, I have to say that I'm really glad that Google has taken a lot of measures to provide us with tools within AdWords. Not only Google Analytics, where I think people understand in Google Analytics, they understand a little bit more that there are attribution tools already built in there, but even in AdWords, there's specific metrics and reports that we can look at that help us to get a handle on that attribution. And it's true, the customer buying journey is definitely longer and expanding every day. And these tools that Google has provided are really key components of a good attribution strategy.
Yes, exactly. So with AdWords attribution, you can use various reports such as the path length report or the time lag report to see how many conversions or how many days until your user converted. Through Google Analytics and also with AdWords, you can also use our attribution modeling report, which actually allows you to select different data-driven attribution models to compare revenue and conversions under each model.
Yeah, definitely. And not only utilizing the attribution modeling within AdWords, which is super helpful, but also there are actually metrics that you can add into your inline column view that will give you greater insight into your attribution analysis. And some of those columns would be the assist columns, which we call the click-assisted conversions, impression-assisted conversions, click-assisted conversion value, and impression-assisted conversion value. Those are metrics that you can look at in AdWords. It's really simple to add them in and start to get a handle on the true performance of a given keyword or a given ad group or a given campaign. We can talk a little bit about Google Analytics because I think that many of our viewers will have a little bit more familiarity with Google Analytics. And there are attribution models, like you mentioned, that exist within Google Analytics, which are very valuable to take advantage of. And so I want to discuss a little bit about the different models that you can look at in Google Analytics in terms of the different attribution models. I think most of our viewers will have heard of last click versus first click, and that's two different models that you can look at. The last click is looking at the last interaction, so assigning credit to the last click or the last campaign that drove traffic to your website. And first click is the opposite of that. It's assigning credit to the first ad click, even if ultimately there were 10 more clicks in that path. The first click would get the full credit there, so that's first versus last. Most people default to a last click in their reporting. Certainly, Google Analytics defaults to the last click. Google AdWords is actually first click. But you can dig into those reports, those metrics that we looked at earlier, we talked about earlier, and start to see more insight there. But there are other models, attribution models that you can look at in Google Analytics, which are very interesting. One of them is called the linear model, which attempts to distribute value throughout each touch point on the customer journey. There's one that's called time decay, in which you can give more credit to an earlier click than you would to a later click, or vice versa. And there's also a position-based model, which gives more credit to the first and last touches and less credit to the touches on the middle of the path. So it's very interesting how all these models are set up. But one of the most valuable things is actually the fact that you can set up a custom model in Google Analytics. So you can determine as a business and an organization which one makes the most sense for you, and then you can set up a custom model within Google Analytics, and that's very helpful to do that.
So Lou, how does your team establish a starting point for clients who are new to attribution, and how does that strategy change for existing clients who you're currently managing? I'd love to hear how you've created successful attribution models for your clients.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first key is that I get often asked, what is the best model to use? And a really important point to make is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution for attribution modeling. The key is figuring out which model works best for the client and the individual advertiser. So the first thing that we do is try to establish where the client is in the attribution process. Do they understand it? Are they already doing some type of attribution reporting? If not, then we work with them to establish which one of the models might work best for them. If they're already using a particular model, we usually just work with that because it's great for them. It's great that they're already down that path of understanding attribution. So we'll work with that. We might make some tweaks to it. But yeah, that's the key, is establishing buy-in from all of the people involved, all of the stakeholders in the account, and establishing a model that works best for everyone, and then establishing a timeline for where we're going to periodically reference that data and the benchmarks and so on and so forth. But yeah, the big thing is understanding that there's not just one perfect model. But in terms of success stories, we've found great success with working with our clients to not only set up an attribution model, but like we talked about earlier with the metrics in AdWords, where you can apply the assisted metrics to your campaigns. That's one of the first things that we want to establish with our clients is let's start looking at those metrics so that we can get deeper insight into keyword or ad group level or campaign level performance when we're considering not only the last click performance, but we're looking at those assisted metrics. So we're understanding how each level of our account is playing into the ultimate performance. Another key thing is that we do work with our clients to build a custom attribution model. Within Google Analytics, there's the ability to completely customize the attribution model. You can change different factors, different scoring. There's all the kind of complicated things that you can do, but it's quite simple when you really get into it and break it down. So we do work with our clients one-on-one to develop a model that works best for them. And we absolutely leverage that data in our day-to-day management. And our clients have found great success and really our clients are very pleased that we do that because it gives them additional insight and much more context into the performance of their campaigns. And we always talk about the holistic picture, seeing the holistic picture. And modern advertisers, modern brand advertisers especially, realize that customer journey dynamic, and having this attribution strategy in place is something that's great for them, and they love to see that full funnel holistic approach to growing their brand on AdWords.
So as you mentioned, it's absolutely essential for not only clients to understand their client path to purchase, but also to understand attribution in their AdWords account, because understanding these two main factors can completely impact a digital advertising strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for more information about attribution modeling, feel free to go to our website, cpcstrategy.com, and check out our blog. Also, go to YouTube and check out our YouTube channel, and look for any videos in the series marked AdWords for retail brands. And lastly, if you want to just reach out to us directly, feel free to contact us at contact@cpcstrategy.com, and we'd love to give you guys more information about attribution in general and how we approach attribution modeling.
Well, Lou, thank you so much for joining us again in the Google studio.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in.